establishing the correct library format or infrastructure within a SharePoint environment is critical to using the SharePoint environment. Remember that SharePoint is all about the simplicity of use, of being able to access information, know where that information is, as well as have the providers for SharePoint input the information. So majority of your SharePoint users will be inputters, right, that will be adding documentation to it, whereas a minority will be readers of that information. So let's explore here a few options to enable that and make it easier for all of your team members. And the first part is to establish a strategy for your libraries. So a document library is a folder basically within SharePoint that you drop all of your files into. Now often people take the easy way and they just create one library and put subfolders within it. But that creates a challenge for you when you want to expand the functionality of that SharePoint environment. So let's start here and flip up to our Site Actions tab and let's see what we need to do to set up a library. At the top of your screen, you're going to see a button there called Site Actions, Browse, Documents, and Library. So we're going to go ahead for this part of the exercise, go ahead and select on Site Actions. As we select the Site Actions button, we can see there are multiple actions here. What we want to do is very simply create a new document library. So let's go ahead and select New Document Library. Now as we set up this document library, we can put any name that we want in here. We're just going to call this test for right now. So we can enter our name in here and then we can put here a description if we want. We don't always have to do that. Now the quick launch is that section of the SharePoint portal that we looked at to begin this video here on the far left hand side of your screen. You can have it in the quick launch or not. We're going to select yes here just so that we can kind of see what it looks like. And then let's go ahead and scroll down just a little bit. And do we want to receive email? We're going to say yes, and we're going to say test, and we're going to put the date today because it's important that you put a unique identifier. Remember, in SharePoint, you're going to have lots of email addresses associated with these libraries. So you'll want to put something unique in there, not just files, right? Because there's going to already be one of those. And so we're going to say yes, we want to receive an email to this and put that in there. And then we're going to say, do we want version control on each file in the document library? So that's going to be a question that you're going to have to answer personally based on what it is that you're putting in there. We're going to say no for this, and then we're going to simply hit create. Now we see the test library already set up for us. So let's go ahead and go in and actually test to see if we can send a document to this library. Notice here there's nothing in the library. So let's go ahead and test this. We're going to put in our email address, the test at, and then SharePoint dot your company name or site name of your SharePoint site, whatever that is, .com. And so that's going to be the address of the library we just created. And then we put an attachment here, and then we're just going to put here test. Now, you'll see that it's only going to keep the attached file. We can tell it to keep all of the files, and we'll review that in another video. But for this test, we're just going to test it here to see if it'll keep this attached file called 624-628.png. So let's go ahead and press the send key and go back over to SharePoint and see what happens. So let's go ahead and check to make sure our document actually made it to the area here. Here we have the test library. We go up in there, sure enough, the 624 to 628 document shows new within our SharePoint portal. So we've successfully now emailed a file to our SharePoint portal.